everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Beth Eland. Today I am going to take us through a full body stretch. We're going to stay standing for most of the class and then we're going to ground down a little bit. So go ahead, start standing up. Your feet are going to be hip width distance apart, parallel, all 10 toes pointed towards the long edge of your mat. You can shine your palms forward, energizing through the fingertips. Maybe closing the eyes for a moment as you relax your shoulders down your back. And just connect to your breath. Take one more deep breath here. And as you inhale, you're going to reach your arms up overhead. Grab onto your right wrist with your left hand and lean over to the left, pushing out through your right hip. Feeling a big side body stretch. And imagine you're in between two panes of glass here. So your shoulders are evenly stacked, leaning towards the side. Inhale, come up and switch the grip on your hands and lean over to the right, pushing out slightly through that left hip. Breathing nice and deep. Inhale, come up and bring your arms back down to the sides. Go ahead and widen your stance quite a bit. Keep your feet parallel to the shorter edges of the mat. Going to inhale, you can rise your arms again. And as you exhale, fold forward, leading with your chest. And feeling that stretch deep into both hamstrings. Two deep breaths here. Maybe exhale out the mouth. And on your next inhale, go ahead and lift up halfway. So you put your hands right on your shins, extend through the spine. Exhale, fold again. And as you inhale, push into both feet, maybe putting your hands on your hips to lift all the way up. And we're going to move into a warrior two. So you're going to point your right toes forward. So your 5 toes are pointed to the top of the mat. And these toes are still parallel to the shorter edge of your mat. As you exhale, go ahead and fold or bend into this front knee. So your knee is over top of your ankle. Your hips are still facing towards the front of the room. Feel that stretch in your thigh here. And you can lift both arms up to be parallel with the floor at about shoulder height. And if it's comfortable for your neck, you can look over your middle finger. We're going to move into a dancing warrior. So as you inhale, turn the right palm face up and reach that palm up as you push your left hand into your left thigh. And as you exhale, come back towards neutral and come down, placing that forearm onto your thigh and reaching your left arm up overhead. A few rounds of this, so you're inhaling to come back up through center and reaching up overhead. And as you exhale, fold down into your side angle pose. One more. Inhale, coming up, and exhaling, coming forward. Pull yourself back up to neutral warrior. Go ahead and straighten into that front leg. Maybe bring your back foot in and a couple inches. And I like to use the back of my hand to go along the leg here to turn into my triangle pose. So again, like before, imagine you're in between two panes of glass. Your body is staying, your chest is facing forward, your hips are facing forward. And only go down as far as is comfortable for you. Some days I'll come down here, some days I'll even be up here, and I will feel this deeply. Slowly come back up on an inhale. We're going to switch to the other side. Go ahead and pivot that foot back to be parallel. And you can go ahead and fold forward again. Just to release into the back. And let your head be heavy, maybe swaying side to side. And placing your hands on your hips. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, lift all the way up, pushing into your feet. And doing that same sequence on the opposite side. Left toes point towards the back of the mat. Your heel should bisect the arch of your right foot. So you're making like a T. And as you exhale, go ahead and bend into that front knee. If you feel like you need to adjust your stance, you can always toe heel your foot up a little ways to lengthen your stance. Inhale, lift your arms up, palms facing down, and maybe gazing over that front finger. We're going to move into our dancing warrior. Inhale, palm facing up. Reach up overhead as you lower your right hand to your right thigh. And as you exhale, come forward, forearm meets the thigh, and your right bicep meets your right ear. Inhale, coming back up through center and leaning back. Exhale, come back forward into your side angle. Last one, pull it back up to neutral. Inhale up. And exhale back into that side angle. Inhale, come back up to your neutral. Warrior two. You can now straighten into that front knee. Maybe toe heel your foot back a few inches. Trace the back of your left hand against your thigh as you move into a triangle pose. And I like to keep my hand on my hip here just because I don't go very far. But if you feel like you want more of a challenge, I suppose, you can reach that right arm up overhead. Maybe looking up if it's comfortable, or you can keep your gaze down. Whatever's most comfortable for you next. Place your hand back on your hip. And as you inhale, engage the abs. Engage the abs. Push into both feet to come all the way back up. And rotate that foot back into parallel. Go ahead and fold forward, releasing into the back again, maybe swaying side to side. Let your upper body be heavy. Same as before, hands on your hips. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. And inhale, push all the way back up to stand. We're going to kind of do the same thing. Go ahead and come to the front of the mat, feet parallel. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, you're going to plant your palms into the mat and come into a plank pose. So whatever that looks like for you today, you can stay in a full plank and take a few breaths. You can come down to your knees and stay here if you like. Just make sure you're engaging in the abs to grow that muscular area. And on an exhale, go ahead and lower all the way down to your belly. We're going to do 3 little baby cobras here. So as you inhale, I want you to push the tops of your feet and your hips into the mat. And as you lift your chest, shoulders, and hands up off the mat. So exhale, come down. 2 more like this. Inhale up, strong back. Exhale down. And inhale, last one. Really shine your heart forward. And exhale, come down. You can walk your hands out in front of you. We're gonna come into a sphinx pose. So your elbows can either be directly under your shoulders, or if you need a little bit less, you can walk them out. Whatever feels best for your low back. And keep shining your heart forward, rolling your shoulders back, and your gaze is steady and fierce towards the front of the room. And you're still powering through your legs. Your hips and the tops of your feet are pressed into the mat. Maybe your kneecaps lift slightly off of the mat as well. One more breath like this. And on an exhale, go ahead and come all the way down. We're going to roll onto our backs. One more energizing pose here. We're going to do Sattu Bandha Sarvandasana. So place your feet flat on the mat, closer to your bum so your fingertips can touch your heels. And as you inhale, you're going to press into the palms of your hands, press into your feet, and lift your hips up and away from the mat. As high as they can go. Imagine you're pressing a block in between your thighs. And on an exhale, go ahead and lower it back down. And keeping that bend in your knees, you can bring your feet about as wide as the mat and dip your knees in to touch. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. And take several deep breaths here. If you would like, you can stay in this position, or you can extend into your Virabhadrasana, reaching your legs out and your arms out to take up space. We're going to take 5 deep breaths here. Listen to your breathing. Slow it down. Feel any tension leaving your body. Two more breaths. I'm going to wiggle your toes and your fingers, reach your arms up overhead, and roll over to one side. When you're ready, slowly pushing yourself up to take a seat, however is most comfortable for you. Bring your hands together to touch Anjali Mudra. Notice how your body feels. Now close our practice by chanting Om one time. You can join along if you like. Om. Bowing forward, namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you feel energized and ready to take on whatever is next. I'll see you in the next video.